Words that has developed between lawyers for President Trump and for his former attorney and fixer Michael Cohen. Cohen's newest attorney, Lanny Davis, cautioned Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani with this tweet, and let me read it. Did Rudy Giuliani really say on Sunday shows that Michael Cohen should cooperate with prosecutors and tell the truth? Seriously? Is that Trump and Giuliani definition of truth? Trump Giuliani next to the word truth equals oxymoron. Stay tuned. For his part, Giuliani tells CNN, I'm quoting him now, the truth will set you free. The president did nothing wrong with Michael Cohen. Everything has been a dead end because there is nothing there. Let's discuss this and more with our chief legal analyst, Jeffrey Toobin, and our chief political analyst, Gloria Borger. Gloria, what are you hearing from your sources about Michael Cohen's thinking, the addition of Lanny Davis, who all of us know going back to the Bill Clinton impeachment process, to his strong support for Hillary Clinton? That's really a significant message that Cohen is sending.
It is, and the message from my sources is I'm no longer going to be the punching bag for anyone else's defense strategy, and that they are upset at what Rudy Giuliani has been saying, and that Michael Cohen believes that Giuliani and the president are trying to send him a message, and they think that message is that if he differs with them on his recollections, then they will continue their attacks on his character and will say that he is lying. So he has decided, along with Lanny Davis, who is his spokesman, I mean, he has an attorney, Guy Petrillo, and they have decided to hit the reset button, as they put it.
Guy Petrillo, the new defense attorney for Michael Cohen, is a former criminal prosecutor in the Southern District of New York. I think he was in charge of the criminal division. So between Lanny Davis coming in, Guy Petrillo coming in, from the legal standpoint, what does it say to you?
Well, it certainly seems like they are issuing a Declaration of Independence a couple of days after July 4th. I mean, they are not part of the Trump team. They are legally not part of the Trump world anymore. They're not being paid by Donald Trump. I find it a little puzzling, frankly, that they were so offended by what Rudy Giuliani said yesterday. I mean, all Rudy Giuliani said was, you know, tell the truth, and there's no harm to the president. I don't know what else he could say as the president's advocate, but it certainly does seem like Michael Cohen is in the process of separating himself from the president, but we still don't know what, if any, charges Cohen is going to face, and we don't know if he is going to cooperate. So there's a lot of theater going on here, but I don't know what the actual truth is.
Well, and we don't know whether the prosecutors are interested in him. I mean, Guy Petrillo is not commenting. Neither is Lanny Davis commenting on that part of the case. This has nothing to do with the SDNY. We don't know.
Well, we don't know. You know, the Southern District got a search warrant for his office. That much we know. We don't know the basis. And his home. I mean, you know, you don't get a search warrant for a lawyer's home and office without substantial evidence of probable cause that there's evidence of a crime there. We still don't know what crimes they are talking about, whether they relate to the president or then candidate or then private developer Trump in any way. But we do know, we can conclude that Michael Cohen is in a world of trouble, but how much trouble he's in and what he's going to do about it, that remains still pretty mysterious.
And we know that both sides have looked at these documents, and maybe they're seeing different things in these documents and what they might imply. The
documents that were taken from Cohen's home, his hotel room, his office, his safe deposit box, including all the audio recordings that he may have had.
And Giuliani in the Sunday shows was very confident that there is nothing in there to implicate his client in any way, shape, or form. What we don't know is what Mr. Petrillo is thinking is in those documents, or what Mr. Cohen is thinking is in those documents, because they refuse to comment about that. But Giuliani says they have zero worries, and the quote from Giuliani is, "I think he's going to tell the truth as best he can, given his recollection, and if he does, we're home free."
I guess that's the argument, that unless you line up Michael Cohen, line up your story with the president's, we're going to accuse you of lying.
And that's where Michael Cohen is coming from. He's been frustrated. He's felt abandoned by somebody he once said he would take a bullet for.
Yeah, you know, there's actually a group of lawyers who think you shouldn't say anything when you're under investigation, and I sometimes think they're right, but You don't hire Lanny Davis.
Rudy Giuliani is not one of those lawyers.
Is not one of those.
You know, it's interesting. I can only
Davis.
imagine, Gloria, those of us who covered Bill Clinton and the Whitewater investigation, the impeachment, the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Lanny Davis, he was a special counsel for Bill Clinton at the White House. In more recent years, no one has been more supportive of Hillary Clinton than Lanny Davis. I can only imagine what President Trump must be thinking when he heard that Lanny Davis is now working with his former friend, his lawyer, his fixer, Michael Cohen.
I think the president
Not just a Democrat, but a Democrat who worked so closely with the Clintons.
I think the president is probably thinking that Michael Cohen is no longer his ally in all of this, and that maybe Michael Cohen has made a decision that he's not looking for a pardon from the president of the United States, should one be necessary, that perhaps he feels that wouldn't be necessary for him, or maybe we don't know what his communication eventually would be with the Southern District of New York. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we have to unspool in all of this.
But the one thing that is clear is that this is a level of hostility between Michael Cohen and his former employer, Donald Trump, that we have not seen before. It is a much ratcheted up level of hostility.
I will tell you, here's a quote from a source familiar with Cohen's thinking, saying that he is no longer taking a bullet for Trump. He is no longer a flunky. It is his July 4th moment,
there
as
you
were pointing out.
It's a really significant development. We'll see where it leads. Guys, thank you very much, Gloria. Terrific reporting, as usual. Are the president's talks with North Korea right now on the verge of collapse as the regime calls the U.S. gangster-like and the president puts blame on someone else? Plus, is Theresa May at risk of losing her job as prime minister? The UK government in complete turmoil as two of her cabinet officials resign over Brexit. This just before her summit with President Trump. And the breaking news out of Thailand, where 8 boys have been pulled out alive from the cave, but there are more still trapped as heavy rains move in. We'll take you there live.